But today we imprison more people than any other country in the world. China, Russia, Iran, Cuba. All countries we consider autocratic and repressive. Yeah, more than them.
This country has waged a war on drugs, which has been tantamount to waging a war on Black and brown communities. Millions of people have been arrested, convicted, and incarcerated for marijuana-related possessions. In the last decade alone, 7 million. And those 7 million people are facing what's known as 46,000 collateral consequences. Now, some of you may be saying, if you do the crime, you do the time.
Whatever happens to you, you deserve. There is no room or compassion for Black people that use drugs.
Mandatory life sentences for simple possession and low-level drug sales. My home state of New York started this with Rockefeller laws.
When you were a politician, you said you were unalterably opposed to legalization. One of the things I wanted to ask you is what harm has been done by the fact that we didn't legalize it back then?
Oh, I don't know if there's any harm that's been done.
There was people getting arrested, there were people getting thrown in jail. I mean, that counts, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but that was under a different set of rules at a different time.
Our prison population grew more than 900%. When the war on drugs began in 1971, our prison population was 200,000. Today it is over 2 million.
That for all of the gains that we were trying to make with the civil rights movement, fair housing, expanded opportunities in education, employment opportunities, building the wealth of the African American community, the failed policies of the war on drugs single-handedly undid all of that.
War on drugs never ended. Today, white and Black people use weed at roughly the same rate, but Black people are almost 4 times more likely to get arrested for it.
In the first full year after the Marijuana Tax Act was passed, Black people were about 3 times more likely to be arrested for violating narcotic drug laws than white.
When 33 states and the District of Columbia have some form of regulated growing marijuana, selling marijuana, consuming marijuana, and distributing marijuana on a mass scale, is it still a crime?
But there's no compassionate language about drug dealers.
When we talk about Black Lives Matter, are we talking about Black drug users? Are we talking about Black people that decided to sell drugs?
Police issue possession citations in Black and Latino neighborhoods at a far higher rate than other neighborhoods. Kids in Crown Heights are constantly stopped and ticketed for trees. Kids at dorms in Columbia, where rates of marijuana use are equal to or worse than those in the hood, are never targeted or ticketed.
Because we're not allowed recreation.
They were basically users, and they basically responded the worst of all those drugs just because their character.
I think that Black people should be able to use drugs.
You look around that cannabis industry as an African American woman, what do you see? White men. White men. White men.
Now, former Speaker of the House, John Boehner. Now, you're all in on cannabis.
I'm all in. This is the time to go all in on cannabis. Cannabis is here to stay, and this industry is only getting bigger.